Hello everybody, it's Matt here doing a review of the LG G Flex. It's a phone made by LG. The phone has a 6-inch HD display, which is actually not a true full HD. It's a 720p resolution. The phone comes equipped with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 CPU as well as 2 gigabytes of RAM. The screen is approximately 6 inches diagonally in size. It has a 3400 milliamp hour battery, 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and the battery remains inside and is non-removable. I figured I'd give you a quick rundown. So the phone has LG's knock feature for double tap. I've been using this phone for a little while now, and it's one of the best phones I've owned. In fact, I would prefer to buy this over the Nexus 6 just because it's almost, the hardware is very similar and the function is very similar, but the price is about one-third. I picked this up for $200 used. It's actually been paid off on T-Mobile. I'm using it on T-Mobile. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi so I can do some speed tests for you. So like I said, this phone runs the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 CPU, which is quad-core. It's clocked at just over 2.2 gigahertz. So I'm going to do some benchmarking for you. I will do an Antutu benchmark, probably the most commonly referenced benchmark out there for Android. I'm going to test. It's quite a long test. If this test isn't important to you, then skip about a minute and a half ahead in the video to see the results. This benchmark takes a little while to test pretty much everything. I've been using the phone all day, so the battery's low, and I wanted to do that so I could show you just how well the battery actually performs. It's an amazing phone with amazing battery life. So just to give you an idea, this phone has the same processor that the Nexus 5 has, as well as the LG G2. It's not quite up to par with the S5 or the Nexus 6 or the G3. The G3 has an 801, the S5 has the 801, and the Nexus 6 has the 805. But still, it's not shabby. The processor is great. In fact, I don't think you'll see a big performance increase until they get to the 805s or the 810s, which the 810 is a 64-bit version of the 805. For those of you who are power users and CPU is important. I'm using this phone on T-Mobile. As you can see, I'm getting 4G LTE at the top of the screen. I don't know how well you can see that. The speeds that I've been getting have been very good. And this phone also has Wi-Fi calling. If you live in an area with poor service, you have Wi-Fi nearby, you can use that to send and receive calls and text messages, which is a nice feature. Another thing I like that I'll kind of explain while I'm waiting is this has one-handed setup. You can notice that all my back, home, and menu keys are on the bottom right-hand corner. I can actually, while I'm waiting, I did it right at the wrong time. You can actually set those up to be centered on the right side or on the left side. I typically operate my phone in the right hand, so I have them set up on the right side of the screen. Also, if the screen looks a little different, it's because I have a matte, fingerprint proof, and glare resistant screen protector. Helps when I'm doing reviews. So on this test, I'm getting about 25 frames a second with 720p, 33 frames per second, between 25 and 35 frames per second on this particular test, running in 720p, which is pretty decent. It's down to 17 frames a second, 18. Okay, test scored a 4259, which is very, very good. In fact, it scores higher than the LG G3 and a couple of other high-end phones. And the reason for that is because it has a very good processor, but it actually has a lower resolution screen. So it doesn't have to push as many pixels, which allows the performance to be at or above some of the flagships that were released this year. For example, the Note 4 got around at 48,000. So performance-wise, you are going to have great performance out of this phone, and because they're not very popular, you can get them for a fairly good deal. Like I said, I bought this paid off on T-Mobile for $200 from somebody on a local classified site. Okay, so I wanted to show you another thing, the 4G LTE, just so you can understand the kind of speeds that you'll get. I get anywhere from 2 to 8 megabits. Sometimes I get spikes in the 15 megabit range, but it's anywhere between 5 and 10 is pretty normal. So this is 7 megabits about on average, kind of slowing down to 5. Like I said, this phone is capable of streaming Netflix, in HD, no problems at all. Great call quality also. I have no issues there. I haven't had any glitches or random restarts that I've seen on some of the other phones that I've owned. This, like I said, it's running Android 4.4.2 KitKat. As far as I know, it's supposed to receive the Lollipop update. Before I end this review, I wanted to talk about one more thing that's actually amazing about this phone. It's probably my favorite part. This is the battery life. So I have had this phone on battery charge all day. To show you the graph, I haven't plugged it in, so you can see it's been discharging all day. I've had 13 hours on battery, and of those 13 hours, I have had it on for 5 hours and 40 minutes. That is insane, and I still have 13% battery life. That is unheard of. I've never had a phone with this good battery life, and this, and for this large of a screen, to have this amount of battery life is fantastic. I projected to last a little over 6 hours, so that is an insane amount. I typically don't use my phone this much, but I did that just for the review so that you could get a good grasp of what exactly the battery life is capable of. Now, I don't do gaming, but I read articles, I watch videos, I listen to podcasts. In fact, I was listening to podcasts and surfing the internet all at the same time. So this phone is very, very capable. It's one of the best phones I've had. And if you have any questions, please leave comments. I'm always looking to make my reviews better and more capable for you. So thank you for looking. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye.